Note that when I originally created this video, I made a couple of mistakes. I assumed that this was a photo of David Beaton, but it actually wasn't. It was of another David Beaton. So that was my first mistake. And also, I said that David Beaton was the father of William Beaton Sr., and that's not correct. The correct information is that David Beaton is the father of Donald Beaton, who is the father of William Beaton Sr., and he is the person that adopted my great-grandfather, Willie Beaton. So, just for that clarification first. Thanks. If you follow my YouTube channel, you know that I've been trying a few experiments with AI. The one that I tried yesterday was kind of an epic fail, so I thought I'd give AI another chance today. So in this case, I'm using Perplexity. Now, if you follow my blog, which is Hound on the Hunt, you know that I talk about the Beaton mystery. And that mystery is that my great-grandfather was, I discovered he was adopted. And we're going to talk about that later. I'll give you some background in upcoming videos. But anyways, in the meantime, William, or I call him Willie, was raised by William Beaton Sr. And he is listed as a 7-year-old child in the 1881 census in Ontario, in Kingston. So I did do a search on William Beaton Sr. on Perplexity and didn't really get a whole lot of information, but I do know that William Beaton Sr. was the son of Commodore David Beaton, and I wondered if it could give me Perplexity could give me any information about him. So I put in this prompt, can you tell me more about Commodore David Beaton, who died in Kingston in approximately 1794? So let's see what happens. Now, what I like about Perplexity is that it actually gives you some sources for the information that it provides, whereas some of the other AI sites, if it doesn't know something, it just makes it up, which is kind of disturbing. So here we see, it tells me that he was, Commodore David Beaton was a senior naval officer on the lake, on Lake Ontario. And it goes on, he died in 1794. Well, I already put that in Kingston, Ontario. Upon his death, Jean-Baptiste Bouchette became the senior officer and succeeded Beaton as commander on Lake Ontario. And Beaton's role as Commodore on the Lake Ontario Squadron was an important position in securing British control of the lakes in the years following the American Revolution. And it goes on. As for the sources, it gives sources about Jean-Baptiste Bouchette. It gives some finding aids. It also has more information about Jean-Baptiste Bouchette. I'm assuming these photographs on the side are of Commodore Beaton, which is kind of cool. And let's see what this other... When we open it up, it gives more possible sources. There's 7 sources, a lot of them to do with Jean-Baptiste Bouchette, as you can see. Then there's a part about the Loyalist collection, Simcoe arriving at Niagara. Now, there's a whole story about Simcoe, who is John Graves Simcoe, and then down below on item number 6 is the diary of Mrs. John Graves Simcoe, and she does mention Commodore David Beaton in her diary. Commodore David Beaton was the commander of the Onondaga, I believe it's called, which is a ship. And if we look where she speaks about David Beaton, we can look here. So on her 23rd entry, she writes, at 8 this morning we went on board the Onondaga. Commodore Beaton, the naval officer who has charge of the armed vessel on Lake Ontario. We sailed with light winds. A calm soon succeeded, and we anchored several miles 7 miles from Kingston. The men who navigated the ship on this lake have little nautical knowledge and never kept a logbook. This afternoon we were near aground. The lake is beautifully transparent. We saw the bottom very plainly. And from what I understand, Mrs. Simcoe was basically the secretary for her husband. And a list of sources goes on to say there's one about Niagara settlers. So you can see that Perplexity can perhaps find things on the internet. Now, I know I could have searched for this information, and I believe I've come across some of this already. I have seen the Simcoe diary before, but it's interesting to just try and see if you might find out something that you haven't found before. So why not give Perplexity a try about maybe one of your more famous ancestors and see what you find. Let me know and have a great day.